Hi, welcome to the Vaguely Anime Podcast. I am with the host afternoon, Michael, followed by other host Kat.
Hello.
And other host Sage.
Hi.
And it's Anime Club.
Yay.
It's Sage's pick.
It sure is.
Forewarning, there's a lot to this show, and either this episode will be longer than normal, or we're not going to cover everything, and you'll just have to deal with that.
I feel like the not covering everything is probably going to be
more likely.
I feel like that's automatically just going to happen because I feel like
it's pretty dense.
Yeah, it's extremely dense.
We're also just not going to think about like everything that like
every
a
plot
viewer
detail
would think about.
Yeah.
So just putting that out there now. If we don't touch on something and like, oh man, that's your favorite part, I'm sorry. There's a lot to this show and we only have like an hour. What do you want from us?
Yeah.
Anyway, Sage's pick. So
Yeah.
Sage, explain.
So I picked Code Geass, seasons 1 and 2. The basic premise is Lelouch, the main character. He gets like essentially like a mind controlling power, and then he decides with that power that he can go ahead with his plan to take down the Britannian Empire. I'm pretty sure his initial plan was like, I'll just do it by myself. No assistance.
That was his plan entirely.
Which is kind of crazy to think about.
His plan was to do that without a power.
Yeah.
It's just on a longer time scale.
He was like,
wow,
this sure does make my timeline shorter for me.
I was like, man, I was going to get around to this when I was like 50 and had built up everything behind the scenes.
Yeah.
But
basically we just follow him and like the evolving tensions between like the Japanese people who get essentially colonized by Britannia and like the rebellion and the royal family and military, and there's also mechs thrown in there.
There are a lot of mechs.
So it's a lot going on. There's a lot of characters. It's 50 episodes. It's kind of dense, but it's great and I love it. Even though season 2 they do some like very funny stupid shit, but it's so easily like in my brain at least I can let go of the stupid shit.
I mean, season 2 is the higher rated of the two.
Yeah, like I think the reason why is because that ending is just so effective that you are willing to let go of a lot of like ridiculousness to be like, it was worth it for the payoff.
Yeah, I agree.
So that's like the general. I guess we'll go into non-spoiler overall thoughts.
Sure.
Kat was having some angry texting going on.
There was a lot of messages going on.
A lot of all caps.
Sure was. Non-spoiler thoughts. This is hard.
If you have no non-spoiler thoughts, you can just pass.
No, I'll come up with something.
I was like, you can talk about the animation. Or
no. When did this come out?
2008, I believe.
Okay.
Maybe 2006?
First season 2006 to 2007. Second season.
I don't know why I thought it was older.
So second season was just purely in 2008.
Yeah, so 1 was 6.
Yeah.
A lot of people say that it's like really badly animated, like it's super ugly. I didn't think it was that bad.
Who
says
these people?
That? People like on the internet. I saw that like lots of people saying that.
So
maybe that's people that just not used to the early 2000s style.
I mean, yeah, maybe, it is an early 2000s style, and
those eyes are massive.
It is also if I think in like 2012 they did like a remaster of it, or no, for the Blu-ray like release they like redid some of it just to make it like higher quality, but the original like broadcast, some of it is really ugly because they were doing, you know, like
but Clamp never schleps on the fan service.
No, they absolutely don't.
There's fucking I forgot to take a picture of it, and by the time I like went back to my computer it went off of it because Crunchyroll has like a timeout thing now. But there was one screen grab, and I don't know what the fuck was wrong with C2's face. She just, I don't know, like a man, like the most poorly drawn, like fucking, it was horrendous. I was like, what did they do? Like it was
sometimes
rough.
when they go off model, it's just like,
because there was like 10 of them on screen, like so I guess they just like did, it was rough. But yeah, like I didn't think it was, because I had seen that before, like I started watching it, and like I didn't think it was bad. But it was also like people saying like, oh, I won't watch it because it's ugly kind of thing as well. So
I think if
that's a choice.
I think if you're only looking at like the screen grabs of like where it's obviously off model like character designs.
I mean, there are a faction of people that hate 2000 anime designs.
That's also true. If that's just not your taste, like I can understand that. Yeah. But I do think like if you're going to say that the overall show is ugly, like that's kind of wrong.
But, at the same time, if they're not watching it, they're not seeing enough of it.
So I think if you don't give it a chance, like that's not being an educated hater in my opinion.
Well, yeah, but the internet's full of non-educated hating. That's what all the internet is. Non-educated haters.
Literally. But anyways, non-spoilers.
What'd you think of the music?
Like the
overall soundtrack?
Some good, some whatever.
Only one good opening or ending song, and it's just Colors.
I think there was two. So interesting enough, I actually have that on a playlist separately, not knowing what the fuck it was from. It was suggested to me years ago. Have it on a playlist. It started playing and I was like, that's where this is from.
Colors is like a top tier OP.
So good. Yeah,
but I think there was another one I like. Don't remember if it was an opening or an ending because there were so many episodes I was skipping that shit. Didn't have time for it. So I'll have to look to see.
Speaking of the 7-minute miracle, the amount of times they open up and they're like,
the 7 minute
I noticed that too this time around.
Oh my god, it's so.
I was thinking about it because I remembered how much you guys were like the 7-minute miracle.
7-minute miracle.
And then I was like, every single episode, I'm like, oh my god.
I forgot that they did that.
On
TBH.
the days, because it was so dense, it was helpful sometimes. Because they were telling, and I'm like, oh, that's what that meant. Like C2, I was just like, thank you for summing that up for me because I was a little confused on what was going on. So sometimes it was helpful, but if it was a day that I was watching more episodes, then I was like, all right, come on, like it's too much. Then it was like the 7-minute miracle.
Yeah, and then every now and then there wouldn't have like the recap and then intro. It would just go right into the episode, and I'm already like going to skip, and then like I'm like 2 minutes in, I'm like at the intro now, and I'm like, god damn it, so I gotta go all the way back.
Yeah, where they have like just a cold open instead.
Yeah. I only watched at my computer just for the sole fact of the skip because like I didn't want to be on my phone because it's just too hard to like watch on your phone because you don't know if it's gonna be at the beginning or if it's gonna be.
I watch it on the TV app, so
that's worse.
Well, they also have the skip button.
No, but because you don't know when to like do it because they move it, I feel like that makes it even harder. But I will say those opening like I think it's like 15 episodes were so hard to watch. It was so dense. And that's why I messaged you guys, like, I don't know if I'm picking up anything. Like, I was like,
they really
there was a hot minute where Kat messaged us and was like, I don't think I know anything. and me and Sage were like, pop quiz. And we started like saying stuff, and Kat had the answer. It was like, oh, maybe I am picking up more than I thought I was.
So like it worked out. I wasn't expecting them to be like, all right, wait, no. So they said pop quiz, and then Sage had the most dense
she sure did
fucking test I've ever seen in my life.
Sage is like, this is like her, like someone just let her lore dump. Yeah. Like she's just like, you've activated my trump card.
I feel like for me, Code Geass and like Avatar: The Last Airbender and Yu-Gi-Oh! Like those are like the three things where I was like, you could wake me up at 4 a.m. and be like, hey, do you remember what happened in this? And I'll be like, I sure do.
I remember when I watched Avatar like years ago, we had like a 5-hour long phone call.
Yeah.
Like one time, I think at like 3 in the morning.
Over Discord.
That was the best part of working.
I think that was like during COVID.
Yes, yeah.
That was the best part about working at the dock was when I was going through the entire show again, and you would come in for the shift, and we would just talk about it for like hours.
Yeah. But yeah, I really thought I wasn't retaining anything. Somehow I was, because I passed. Like I did know the information. But because when I thought about it and I was like, what the fuck happened in these past 15 episodes? I was like, I couldn't tell you. I could not tell you for the life of me. But then when I was tested, I gave the answers. So somehow my subconscious did pick up what happened, so it was okay.
Maybe it was more of a thing like you couldn't break down like each like plot point
Yeah,
But you
once someone
understood,
breaks
like,
it down
the general
to you.
idea
I-
of what's going on.
I guess so, but I was like so worried because
Yeah.
I was like, I can't watch those again.
You're like head empty.
Yeah, I
Your
was like,
subconscious brain was like, shit, this shit's riveting. While you're just like, oh my God.
I was like, monkey brain, can't do it. Like, I was like, I can't. And I was like, because they just throw so much information at you.
Oh, yeah.
And they are not taking a breath.
No,
Like,
absolutely
Not
not.
one bit.
Yeah. and I
Like-
was like
Like the show
stop.
starts, foot to the floor on the gas.
Yeah, I was like, I can't do this. And then luckily they were like, it won't stay like that. Like, I wasn't expecting like 15 episodes of it. I was thinking maybe like 5 episodes would feel
They
like
just have
that.
a lot of
Yeah,
like,
there's just
Yeah.
so
more to get
much
through.
to set up.
Luckily, after that, it did get better. Like, it wasn't, it became an easier watch. Like, when I was watching that, I was doing fucking math calculations to be like, all right, how long will this take me? How many episodes do I need to watch a day to be able to get through this? And that's why, because we're actually recording a week late, and I had to message being like, all right, guys.
real talk. It's not gonna be done.
I was like, this is not happening. I was just like, I'm not gonna make it. Like, I won't. It won't. I just can't. It's just not gonna happen. So I'm telling you right now, instead of later, not happening. I need at least another week.
Worked out for me. I wasn't going to finish it if you did that either.
Yeah, so I was just like, I'm doing calculations right now. By that next week, if I watch 4 episodes a day, like it'll be like I'll be able to make it to that next date. So it'll be okay. And I was thinking, 4 episodes a day isn't bad, but like it was so hard during that info dump to even watch 4 episodes. Like, it was rough. But then after that, because I was like busy some days, so I couldn't watch on those days. And then some days I'm like, oh my God, I have to watch 8 episodes today. I was like, I can't do that. I was like, oh my God, I'm thrown off my schedule. I was like, now what? Now what am I gonna
she has like a spreadsheet.
No,
Yeah.
literally.
I was doing
like,
12
No,
because I was like, oh, I'm not gonna finish this show.
One of the days I was like, I have to watch 12 today. I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. And then I was like, I can't. I don't know. I just don't know. I was like, I'm not gonna have to throw off the schedule again. And then, but luckily after that, like, because it became an easier watch, I didn't even need to pay attention to the schedule. Like, I finished earlier. Like, I did watch the last episode today, but I could have watched that days ago. But because I knew that I only had the one episode, I was like, I'm not stressed. It's 1 episode. But I was ahead of that schedule because it just became easy to watch. I wasn't focused on, like, I need to watch this many episodes. So I will say it became much easier. And I'll also say, like, it's about mechs, but at the same time, I don't know if it's just me, but it wasn't that much about mechs.
No, like most Gundam shows too, the mechs are not the focus. It's just there to be like, to
Like, they
exacerbate the tragedies of war, while like everything else is really just about the characters and politics.
like they are there all the time,
Yeah.
but at the same time, they're not there. I don't know.
The mechs are just there as vehicles to like implement fighting.
Yeah. But like, I tuned them out.
Yeah.
Like, I was just like, and then the mechs aren't even
Best
there.
mech.
The best mech? I guess Colin's mech.
Oh, the
Alright.
Gurren Mark II.
All right,
Yeah.
Sage.
I would say the Gurren Mark II as well.
Yeah, Gurren Supremacy.
Yeah.
Followed by Lancelot,
Yeah, I liked Lancelot as well.
but Gurren Supremacy.
I like also Lelouch's mech that he gets from Rakshata.
the
one-
later one?
Is it
the-
the one he's always standing on?
That like
the later one
yeah,
or the first one?
The later one.
Okay.
With the like flight suit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that one a lot. I don't know what that one's called.
I don't know either. Again, tuned them out. Like, be glad I even knew those. I think that might be it. I have for spoiler free.
I just think this show's great. Like, it balances its incredibly dense story really well. For the most part, it's
Balance? I don't know. I think
Yeah.
balance is going pretty far, especially for season 1.
No, I mean,
Season 2 is fine because they don't need to do that info dump because you already know.
I think if you ever rewatch this show, you would feel like it was
But
way
it-
less.
It's
Yeah,
because
like-
you already know the information.
But that's what I mean. Like it won't. I mean,
I
the
feel
first
like
time
that's
I watched it, it didn't feel so
unfair.
dense.
yeah,
Like,
because like I mean, I remember when I was first watching it, I was messaging Sage. I pulled up some of my old messages to Sage of me also reacting to this, which is funny because I reacted to a lot of it. It's quite the same as you. But
that just how most people
I think
react?
so. But like, even still, I feel like yes, it's very dense, but I've also watched a lot of dense shows. I've also watched a lot of shows like
dense
this.
lore.
Like like IBO, also very dense.
Yeah.
Any Gundam really, and I've watched quite a lot of them. So like, I'm just kind of used to it, especially if I know that's what I'm getting into. So like, it's just kind of like going into it, I'm like, all right, cool, Game of Thrones. I'm about to get a bunch of shit thrown at to me so they can set up this world and everything about it, so that way it kind of flows after that.
Like, I'm trying to think. Like, I haven't really seen many things that have, like, I haven't seen Game of Thrones. Like, I haven't seen many things that have such dense things, I guess. So my brain was like, whoa,
it's
please.
like, because it's the pinnacle of, like, character drama. Like, I mean, there's romance and regular just drama and stuff, but like political drama is like the most, like, it's the highest tier of just character, where you're just like, there's so many people are gonna go through so much shit, probably all terrible, and then you're just gonna see how it all plays out and all makes sense at the end. So, I mean, I think they do a fantastic job. I think a lot of the characters are great. My fucking flamboyant goddamn theater kid over there, who just every time he talks, everything is the most insane thing ever.
It all has to be like grand sweeping motions to
like,
go along.
This man, like, I have to imagine regular fucking schmegular Steve watching the TV when Zero's on screen and being like, I declare this thing. I'd be like, what the fuck is up with this guy? Like, why is he talking like that?
Like, why is he so exaggerated?
Yeah, I was like, this. I'd be like, this kid was definitely a theater kid. He got beat up in high school. But
he knows how to put on a show, that's for sure.
yeah, oh yeah, I mean, he does. But I think like all the characters are really enjoyable, except for one specifically who I fucking hate. And
Can you tell me who you hate?
No, I will.
Okay.
I guess I could just say
Is
it
it
now.
a spoiler? Because
No,
I think everyone
Nina.
hates
I fucking
her.
hate Nina. I wish she died in the first opportunity that she could have. I fucking hate her guts.
I was trying to think of who that was. I got it.
With the
yes,
glasses?
I agree.
Yeah.
Yes,
Fucking,
I also hate Nina.
everyone hates her. And the funniest thing is, again, not really a spoiler. There's like a thing way late in the show where she just has a line where she's like, I hate women with no depth. And I'm like, the irony of you saying this.
She says that?
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
I
to
missed
Millie.
that.
She does, to Millie. And I recorded it both times I've watched the show. It sent it to Sage being like, the irony.
I missed that.
Fucking hate her. I hate her so much.
I mean, she's just a racist.
Well,
She sure
yeah,
is.
she sure is. And it's not even like it's just also she's boring. Like, I just don't like. She has an arc.
She had way too
I
much
just don't give a
fucking
shit.
screen time.
Yeah, she's just annoying.
I mean, I don't care for fucking an arc of a racist. She's still racist.
Yeah, but like a lot of people in the show are.
I guess, but it's like it's not.
Because it's they grew up in the racism of the thing being like, these people aren't people, so don't think of them as people for like quite a long time.
But at the same
At least
time,
10 years.
At least 10 years.
At the same time,
Actually,
there
a little less.
are people who
And also, she was
see,
born in Britannia, so
Yeah.
see past that.
yes, but they were born.
And she
but
does it.
she was born in Britannia
She's
and
worse
is
than-
in a school of only Britannians, all teaching these people aren't people, and she's been around that for the entirety of her development. So like, I'm not excusing her racism, but like, it's not like there's not a reason behind it. I still hate her. This isn't me defending her. I'm just saying that like, it's not like it's not there without cause. But anyway, the show's great. A lot of the action is fantastic, and like, there's just so much like everything. No matter how big brain the move is, like, you can follow the through line of how it all makes sense. And like, my favorite thing too is like when clearly like the big brain schemers are doing their shit. The people that are very clearly not as smart are just like, they kind of like slowly clue in at times where like they can put it together themselves just based on like the random context clues and be like, oh, okay, I kind of get the plan. I hate it, but it's already happening, so I guess I'm committing to this. And Colin, best girl. That's my general thoughts.
My general thoughts is I obviously really enjoy the show. I think this is probably like at least the 20th time I've watched it all the way through.
Couldn't be me. Mostly I just don't rewatch shows.
Yeah, no, I really, really have always loved this show. I think the first time I watched it, I was maybe like 14 or 15, and this like really hit that like that itch that I had at that point. And I think this is like one of the first shows where the reason why I asked about the soundtrack is because this is one of the first shows where I like actually noticed like music enhancing media, because you know when you're like a kid and you don't understand like how things come together to like be effective. So this is the first time I was like, oh, this music fucking slaps, and it's
I'll pull up
super
the soundtrack and I'll specifically listen to it.
Yeah, it like super goes along with either like whatever emotion they're trying to like convey or like hype up a fight scene or whatever it is. I always like the visuals a lot. I have the actually I have the art book by Clamp, and they're just beautiful, gorgeous pictures. I think in the first and second ending they do like a slideshow of the pictures from there, and they're so pretty. I love them. They have great character design.
And Clamp loves showing off their women.
They really do.
They really do.
They really do.
Fan service everywhere.
Yeah. And it's so funny because in other Clamp stuff, they're like way less fan servicey, because it's either like either younger girls as the protagonists, so the outfits are really cute and like well thought out and adorable and themed and stuff, or it's like gay question mark characters, so like they just look very stylish and it's like way less fan servicey. Like this is probably like way more fan service than I'm used to seeing.
Like,
but they do a great job.
Like the women mechs all have the like sit down straddle
gotta.
version of the driving mech for some reason. And
because it's practical, Michael.
And any second, everything is practical. Those dresses with all the boob and just like the thin line, all practical.
Except for, what's her name? Hers wasn't.
Oh yeah, the one that's like friends with Toto or whatever his name is. Not friends with like ally.
The pink hair.
the one in love with him?
Pink girl.
Cornelia?
Oh, yeah, no,
hers isn't.
Yeah.
So there's actually multiple of them.
Yeah, I guess there
that's
are
not
a
even
few.
what I'm talking about. One of the
No, you're talking about
the
Mordred.
round.
Yeah, you're talking about the
Anya?
one that flies the Mordred.
Yes,
Yeah,
Anya.
And also there's me and Sage were talking about this, like arguably one of the wildest things they do in the show. At some point, a gym teacher, they put on like basically no clothes.
The bathing suit.
Yeah, they put her, and you're like, that is a teacher, and these are like 14-year-old, 15-year-old boys and girls like around. You're like, this is the most wild shit this show has ever done. She's wearing nothing.
Yeah.
But also, like, yeah, I mean, she's hot, so whatever.
Do we want to move into spoilers?
Yeah.
Sure. Spoilers from here on out.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's a lot to spoil. Just
There
go
sure
watch
is.
the show if you haven't.
Okay, Kat. Air your grievances.
I can't.
You can't?
I can't. I don't even know where to start.
You can start with the genocider.
I felt like the show was a personal attack against me.
Every
because
character she liked.
Literally everyone
anyone I liked died.
should have chose better.
I mean, she didn't have bad
I'm
choices
just-
because Yuffie is best girl.
No, Yuffie is the second best girl.
Like
Yuffie is best girl. And just
that scene where she's like dying and it's her and Suzaku and she's like, did I do it? And
my
God.
And he, because he's finally catching on.
Yeah, that it wasn't her.
He doesn't know what's going on because he doesn't know about the Geass
of course.
yet, but he just knows it's not her.
Yeah, like there's no way.
Yeah, because like he just knew, you know, like this didn't make sense in the first place. Like she wouldn't do this. And then when she's saying that, like it clicks and he's like, it wasn't her. He's
like, it was a great success.
Yeah, like it was great. They have their land back. Like,
oh my God,
just so she can die fucking
like
peacefully.
Yeah,
I was bawling. Like I was like, what the fuck?
It's so immensely fucked up, but also weirdly comedic in that, like, when she first runs out there and she's like, hi, can all the Japanese
Just
die,
die?
please?
Yeah,
and
can
you guys just kill
and
yourselves?
And she stands there for a second and everyone's like,
the
what?
fuck?
And she's like, oh, I kind of thought you'd all just like commit suicide, but you didn't. So guards, kill them all.
I thought that because she was fighting it.
Yeah.
She was until, boy, she wasn't.
I thought she was, like, gonna have the willpower to, like, withstand. I thought they were gonna write something, like, family couldn't be, like, like, I thought they were gonna do something.
Yeah. It's just, as if it's so against your morals, it takes a minute to click in.
Like, I thought
it's like when they're in the Damocles and Lelouch is like, all right, give me the keys to the Flaya.
Yeah, and then she's also
like trying to fight it because she knows she like
giving it as well.
It's just, I remember, because again, I went back to my old messages of me going to Sage and being like, why would he just say kill all the Jap? That makes no sense. Why would you just say that to her? And then Sage is like, he didn't know it was good. I was like, I know, but like, who just says that?
He was doing a hee hee ha ha.
Yeah. It was like, it's not a hee hee ha ha.
But I do.
With grave consequences.
Yeah. I do respect that for the entire rest of the show, he never once backs down to him being he commits to, it was my fault. I made her do it. He never says it was an accident. Once.
That makes me angrier.
No, because he wants everyone to hate him, which goes to his plan at the very end that he is the villain.
He knows, like,
he knows somebody has to take the trouble.
After the Euphemia situation, he's really, it's like two options, right? He can either be like, I did fucked up, publicly outing himself, right? Which would be a huge detriment to the cause. Or he can just go like full evil.
I don't think you have to tell the world that, but you could have told certain people.
No, because those certain,
like,
if
you tell Suzaku,
at that point, Suzaku, he's killing him on sight.
And also Suzaku would blame himself for letting him be alone with her anyway. So he just constantly is trying to make sure that nobody takes the blame for that except for him. Which he does to Suzaku multiple times. In the last 2 episodes, 3 episodes, or whatever, like when he meets Suzaku on the shrine, they're like, all right, you just need to be honest with me for a hot minute. And he just admits that like he did all those things. It was all in his plan. So that way Suzaku did not blame himself for any of it, or nobody else could blame themselves for any other choice. He just makes it so everyone has to hate him.
Yes, but then at the same time, Suzaku has to give up his own life. At the end, like, that's no life to live either.
No, but he knows he died anyway. He knows he has to do that because when they made the plan originally, that he accepted that fate. He was like, I can't live for myself anyway.
I did it.
Well, a part of it is also like Suzaku being on board to like lose his life at the end and like all that jazz is after they detonate the first Flaya and just like that absolute catastrophic level of destruction happens. Like, this is actually when we see, because the whole time Suzaku's like, the ends don't justify the means, right? Like, it's not worth it if you're going to be bad and, like, killing people, like, innocents, whatever. After that, that's when he turns being like, oh, trying to do it from the inside and, like,
will never work.
Checks and balances, like, doing everything right is not effective. There's no way. Like, I could be going at this for the rest of my life, and I will not have moved any further than I am now. So that's when he goes and he turns to Lelouch and he's like, okay, I'm all on board.
Like, it's so sad. Like, he just
broke.
It is. But like,
he's a broken person.
Yeah. But like, literally, there's like a handful of people that end up out of this show in a net positive.
Yeah.
Colin.
I mean, yeah, she still lost her brother, but like,
that happens before the show even starts.
I would say the real only net positive,
Ogie and
Valletta. They're the only real net positive people that walked out of this.
I love their relationship.
They are the greatest part of the show, kind of.
I know what you mean.
They're the greatest part of like the subplot show.
Yeah.
And then
they're the one relationship where it really works out.
Yeah, I also love Orange's arc. Orange boy.
Jeremiah
Gutwald. Fucking his arc is insane.
I always think I even laughed again this time when they were like, after he lets Lelouch go during Suzaku's like fake ass trial, and they're like, okay, you can either start over as a cadet or you can work on an orange farm. Like, I don't know why, but that's just so funny to me every single time.
And then he does.
He sure does.
He does with Anna. or Anya, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. That he gets her memory back, and they just go cultivate an orange farm.
Yep.
And he's also like a super soldier, fucking cyborg alien. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think he's an alien.
Who knows what the
He just
fucking
has a
powers
Geass.
of the Geass are?
He has like a genetically modified reverse Geass.
Yeah. They could be aliens. We don't know really anything about them.
I guess that's fair. I don't think they're aliens.
I'm just throwing
I'm
that in
pretty
there for the
confident
added
that's not in the
weirdness.
lore.
But yeah, I love like there's very few people that end up in a net positive.
Yeah.
But
Anyone I like, no net positive.
well,
all negative or dead.
well, I was gonna say something, but I won't.
So outside of like Euphemia and Shirley.
Oh yeah, we talk about Shirley. So every time. So I liked Shirley. Like I felt bad for her. Like it's not the same feelings that I had for like Yuffie, because Yuffie best girl. But
Shirley's just so sweet.
I
and
know.
she's really trying her
yes,
best.
like
Yeah.
I liked Shirley.
She's just trying to live in a rom-com in a
Yes.
in a political drama.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
She's just in the wrong fucking story.
Yeah,
Like,
she's in the wrong genre.
Like, how did I get here?
Yeah.
This is the wrong place. And like, I just feel bad for my girl. Like,
She takes L after L.
yes, like she is the punching bag of this fucking show. And I said from the beginning, I don't know, how many episodes was I in when you guys asked what girls I like? And I said Yuffie,
Yeah.
best girl. And you were like, oh, that's a good choice. And then I said, oh, and I like Shirley. And you're like, just you wait. Pull up the conversation.
Okay, well,
I
I would like to pull up the other part of the
I need
conversation.
the exact text, actually.
The other part
It's
of that
important.
conversation was also me messaging Sage on the side, being like, "Sage, stop!" I was like, she was like, "What?" And I was like, "Who's not gonna put together that something's gonna happen when you keep saying just wait?"
Me.
What did I say? I said she wouldn't put it together.
I thought they were gonna get together.
I literally, anytime anyone says "just wait" to me, I assume something terrible is going to
no,
happen.
I thought they were gonna get together. My mind went the other way.
What was funny is like we were listing best girls, and I was like Colin and nobody else, and I think you were like, what about Shirley? And I was like, what about Shirley?
Yeah.
And you were like, damn, not even on the list.
Yeah, I was like, wait, what?
You were like, she's not even in the race.
Yeah, I was like, what about her? I mean, to be fair, I do really like Shirley in the second season.
Yeah.
Because especially when the reverse Geass hits and she gets all her memories back, and she has like her mid-tier freak out
Yeah.
in the rain.
Yeah.
And then she's trying to put it all together. She contacts Suzaku and she's like, all right, I need to tell him. But then like all that shit happens. And then she's outside the fucking mall and she's like, you know what? No, I've made up my mind. I'm not going to tell anyone that Lelouch is Zero, but I'm going to help him. I'm going to make it so that he can be happy and stop putting all of this on his shoulders.
She's so sweet. Like, literally, she shoots Milena, like, for him. Like,
Sure does.
She's just trying her best out here. Like,
Do you think that Lelouch was like, did the right thing, at least at the time, to wipe her memory originally?
No.
I feel like he I think it was either he leaves her with the memory, and she, I think, would have just been such a liability, because she already knows his secret.
I think he just doesn't trust people enough that he thought she was too much of a liability.
I think he was genuinely doing it in his mind to help her.
And because she at that point when he is wiping her memory, she knows that he's the reason her father had to die, right? So I think for him, like, he's like, if I just clean slate and she doesn't remember me and anything that's like associated with myself or Zero.
I think that's like such a dumb plan anyways, because it didn't fucking make sense. And I don't know how everybody just went with like, oh, she's just giving me the cold shoulder.
Because the
like,
student council are all morons.
they really are. Like, it was so aggravating. Like, that shit was not believable. She kept being like, I don't know who that is. They were like, ha ha ha, Shirley. Like, I was like, what is wrong with you people? Okay, I found it. We stand Colin. And then Sage said, I assume you're a Colin over C2 kind of guy. Mike said, C2 is boring. We've been over this. I said, I like C2. Why is she boring? She's mysterious. Michael said, one man's mystery is another man's boredom. Colin is just more interesting to me. I said, I mean, I like her too, but I also like C2. Mike said, C2 is fine. I just find her boring compared to Colin. I said, what about Shirley? And Mike goes, what about Shirley? And I said, damn, okay. Shirley's not even in the race, I guess. Because this was so early that I didn't even know like what was going on.
What about her?
I was just
I think you're like 12 episodes in.
I don't even know if I'm that far. Like, I'm just introduced to these girls.
C2 is fine, by the way. I was, but like, I don't find her nearly as interesting as Colin.
And you go, she'll live. I can't believe you said that.
Yeah, well, because you were like, damn, like brutal, and I was like, she'll live.
And then Sage goes, just you wait. I said, oh no, what does that mean? And Sage goes, oh, you'll see. I said, I'm scared. Also, Yuffie best girl. And then Mike said, Yuffie's a good pick. And then Sage replies to also Yuffie best girl in all caps, just you wait. And then I go, no. What does that mean?
Immediately after that, just you wait. Literally, like not like 30 seconds later, is me sending a message to Sage, being like, in all caps, Sage, stop.
And Sage goes, you will find out. And I go, stop threatening me. Because I was like, what are you talking about? But I thought, because you were replying to Yuffie, I thought that meant that like her and Suzaku like wouldn't get together. Like
I knew exactly that Kat would not put 2 and 2 together like you were thinking.
Like
because we're talking about like romance options.
Yeah, like I thought that that's what that meant, and that's why I said stop threatening me.
Well,
I'm saying she's best girl, so like I want them to be together. So would you say just you wait? Like I'm thinking, and then I was worried. I was like, because I didn't know there were siblings yet. So then I was like, oh, is she gonna be with Lelouch? Like I was just like, oh shit. I was like, no, I want her to be with Suzaku. Like I was just like, shit, what's gonna happen? So that's what, like, that's where mine was going. Never did I think what happened was gonna happen.
I don't know. My brain's always like, if someone just says, oh, just wait or whatever, my brain immediately is like, oh, so something bad's gonna happen.
And then
to this
with
person.
you like being like, what about Shirley? Like I just thought she's just a background, like nothing ever happened. Like, you know, like neither one of them where I was like, yep, both of these girls I like dead. Like
yeah, you really backed the wrong horses. But then again, I also backed Yuffie. So I mean, I still always had Colin as my top, but Yuffie was like
Colin to be with Lelouch or Colin just as best girl in general?
Oh, just as best girl. If I had to pick,
because Colin and Gino are endgame. Even though like that's not canon, but they are definitely endgame.
Gino,
was that the blonde guy?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, I liked that.
The like third night of the round.
Yeah.
Also, I fucking
he was like super into her.
Yeah,
he so believed in her.
I liked that.
Yeah,
he's like, you're a terrorist, but you're all right.
Yeah. And then he was like, you beat him. Yeah.
I'd vibe with that.
Yeah.
I also love Colin because she's just a badass.
Yeah.
Like Suzaku at that final fight is using his Geass to give him that upper hand, and she is still with him beat for beat.
Yeah.
And wins.
She's a great
like
pilot.
It's kind of a tie, but she wins.
Yeah.
And Colin is just factually the best pilot there is, I guess. And I love her. I love her so much. In terms of who for Lelouch, I mean, he's so asexual, man. He don't give a fuck about anybody.
He's too committed to his goals.
Yeah.
If anything,
he gets so much ass, though.
Yeah,
he does. If anything, I guess C2, just because C2 needs somebody and Lelouch is there.
I don't know. I feel like in the
not that she needs somebody in terms of like she needs a man. I just she
know
clearly is looking for a person.
Yeah,
and
but I feel like in the beginning of the story, like it's obviously like a relationship of convenience.
Oh yeah, but I think
then,
it grows
like
into more
as
than
it grows, like especially like late stage season 2 where we get into like absolute hellish endgame, like she's pretty ride or die for him.
Yeah,
and they like just really are like on the same wavelength, kind of a thing towards the end there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think like sure I would like Colin to be happy, and clearly she very clearly does end up loving Lelouch, and like
right.
But like she could do better.
But at the
I
same
think
time,
C2 is the only one that can match him and his stupid wit and
at
make
the
fun
same
of him about
time,
it.
I don't even think that Colin did love Lelouch. I think she just loved Zero so much, and then when she found out
the admiration that, because if you think about it, like,
it's a jumbled feeling.
Yeah, no, I think
she
it's
was
definitely
just
messy.
because she was like, okay, well, he is Zero, so she was like trying to like force it on there, but you could tell she's like kind of like uncomfortable by it, but she like.
I think that final kiss is her trying to see if there's anything in there for her.
If that spark is there, for sure.
But at the same time, like, I think it always was Zero.
The absolute like God figure worship that she had for Zero.
Yeah.
Right, and then she realizes Zero is just some guy she goes to school with.
Yeah.
You know, like, that must be very like weird, messy things to like balance in your brain. Even like with that kiss at the end, she's just like, well, I might as well give it a shot. Like, let's just see what happens.
But like, I would say that she clearly does feel something because of specifically how they animate it. With her eyes doing the shine of like, that meant something to her, but then it cuts to Lelouch and there's nothing.
She had enough time. I mean, she had an entire season of knowing it was Lelouch to kind of like force that ideal of being like Zero is Lelouch, to kind of like mix them together.
I mean, look, I'm not saying that I don't think that it's not jumbled, but I do think at the end there, that is her being like, I think I do feel this, and when she kisses him, she clearly feels something, and once she recognizes he doesn't, she goes like, I think internally that for her, that's like, all right, I'm cutting it off here. I'm moving on with my life. But I think until that, I do think that and in that moment, like when she actually does kiss him, is her being like, I do think I love him.
I don't know, like, yes and no. I just think
I feel like she doesn't love him as Lelouch, though.
Yeah, like, I just think she loved Zero so much, and then she found out Lelouch is Zero, so she was like, well, I love Zero, and this is Zero, so I have to love Lelouch. And so it's, like, jumbled, because you can tell the love that she had for Zero in season 1 and the love that she has for Lelouch in season 2, it's not the same. That it's like, you can tell it's a little bit kind of more reluctant. Like, you can tell she still has it. The feelings are still there, but it's not as like, you know, I'm trying to think of like the right word, but like forthcoming, like how outright she was about it, like, because again, like how Sage said, like, it's just this dude she goes to school with, so she's just kind of like I don't know. But yeah, obviously she does have feelings for him because she had feelings for this person, and then they were unmasked, and then you know, she's kind of figuring
I will say,
it out.
I don't know that I like completely agree that she loves Zero in season 1 more. Is like, I always saw as like they did the started from the bottom, now we here type vibe. And like, because they were like grassroots and like part of that come up, like, she understands that like this person, one, his identity being a secret is like paramount to anything else, and 2, he delivers results. And he's really helping to move forward this cause, which for them is so righteous and important, and the whole reason why Colin is even staying part of the rebellion, you know, because her brother was part of it and then he lost his life, and then she feels like she needs to continue on that legacy to like see through the goal of freeing Japan. And then she's now with this figure who she thinks this is going to be the person that does it. You know, nobody else within our own group, not the Japanese Liberation Front, you know, no other group would be able to achieve what we all want, but this person can. You know, so I feel like in season 1 especially, it's more like very ride or die in terms of like loyalty, if that makes sense.
I mean, I definitely think it was loyalty, but
Yes.
I definitely got
Michael.
love from it.
I like the conversation, but there's a lot of show we still have to cover.
Yes,
I feel like
you're
we should move
absolutely
off
right.
of the romance
I noticed
aspect.
that too, but
I was just like, I feel like there's a lot to cover,
Yeah,
the romance is a very small faction of this.
So moving on, I will ask, what are people's feelings on Rolo in season 2?
Fuck that bitch. Happy he died. fuck him. Like, I killed him for I killed her for you. Like,
God.
Like I feel bad for him. I
wish Lewis just fucking no shot, no look, shot him right then.
I agree too. Like, it was definitely worse to see the outcome because I do feel so bad for him. Like, I definitely had mixed emotions on him because I felt bad that he was being used because that was like the first family like he had, and he was being used the whole time. And like when Lelouch is like, you know, I keep trying to kill you and I keep fucking missing. Like, I hate you.
He's like, I know that you are just trying to be a replacement for something else.
Yeah, like,
which like, oh,
yeah,
but like, God. That moment though, when he is doing all of that and he's having the internal monologue where he's like, even if you were using me, like whatever, the memories I had are real. And
it's like all of that,
lands,
like everything I
and
felt.
And he finally is like dying, and he's like, you were just trying to be mean. He's like, you're right. You saw right through me. I am a liar.
Yeah.
Like, Rolo sucks, but is also such an interesting character.
Yeah, like, I feel bad for him because especially the fact of, like, he killed Shirley because he thought he was helping.
Yeah,
like, he genuinely thought.
He really was like, he does not need this problem in his life.
Yes. I mean, at the same time, I mean, is yandere unisex or is there a...
I think any of the terms are unisex.
He was like a little bit like that because he also wanted to kill Nonali. So
he sure did.
Yeah, like at the same time.
Do we ever know how she escaped that blast?
I was gonna ask that because I didn't know if I just missed that.
No, they don't ever show it, but
I don't know that. At least from like I don't on this most recent rewatch, I don't remember seeing anything where they were like she just fucking dipped or whatever.
It's the same with what's his name. That's loves Cornelia.
Guilford?
Yeah, we don't see how he got out.
Was he alive either?
I don't think we see him get away either.
Yeah, I don't know. I was really confused. But so at the same time, was it a little bit of that, or was it genuinely he thought that because she knows she was going to get she was gonna stop him? Like, he doesn't know that she's ride or die for Lelouch and she's gonna help. It could have been a little of both. I think he was just trying to help.
I think a part of it for Rolo is one, he so desperately wants to cling on to this idea of having a family and having a brother and having that very unique bond, right? That like unbreakable bond that you have with a sibling. And because he has never had that before, but Lelouch has all these like fake memories implanted.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I can, kind of work on that. And then I will get that kind of love and validation that I've been seeking. Mm-hmm. But on top of that, I think the reason why he's going after Shirley, one, I think a part of him does think Lelouch doesn't need to deal with this. Like, this is just going to be drama. He doesn't know how ride or die she is for him.
Yeah.
But also, I think he does also want to be the only person who's getting any kind of positive attention from him.
Yeah.
That's, any form of love or affection that's not just him being, zero, but him being Lelouch a person. And that's also, I think, why he is so, like, trying to kill Nonali and, like, wanting to get any chance that he can to kill her. Because he doesn't want, him to realize that Nonali's his actual sibling.
Yeah.
And he wants to keep all that, like, love and attention and affection for himself.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Because, like, obviously, I did not want that to happen. Oh, my God, when Shirley is fucking, like... I'll love you in every world.
She's having
a little rom-com speech, and I'm like, girly pup, like, this is not...
baby girl.
Yeah, like, this is...
Again, in the wrong show.
I know, and I'm like, oh, like, this is just... Please, don't do this. I was like, why are they doing this to me?
They do mention, I just remember because I was reading this, and I was like, they do say something, that there was a decoy ship.
Oh, yeah,
because it was enough to fool Rolo.
Yes.
And they don't say how or where that ship was. And then as for Guilford, most people just think he was more in the like force in the range of the flash and not the actual like blast.
But it's not directly.
Yeah,
like,
so like Guilford just kind of gets fucked, but like he just kind of gets tossed.
Okay.
Where instead of explosion, and Nonali's ship was just the one that they think exploded was a decoy.
Okay. Makes sense.
They don't really show that, but they do mention at one point. I don't remember the specifics, but they do mention something about like a fake ship.
Yeah.
With her.
Yeah.
And it's like one line at one point, and I do remember like being like, oh, I guess they do mention it. They don't show any of it or anything. It's just mentioned.
Got it. Your feelings on Rolo?
He is annoying, but also a great like addition to the story. Like he's annoying in a way that does a lot of like really interesting stuff for the show itself. Mm-hmm. Like it brings in a lot more like questions that you didn't have about like people with Geass and like that whole like training facility and shit like that. And him and Lelouch do have a really interesting dynamic, even though like he fucking hates him.
Yeah.
And I don't know. He sucks, but he also sucks for a reason, and what he provides to the story is much better than like me just disliking him. And also, for nothing else, I remember you messaged and you were like, "Am I supposed to be confused by the first episode?" And me and Sage just didn't even reply.
Anything. I was just like, "Okay." And
you're like, "What the fuck is going on?"
Because it's just. It helps enhance that, like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So what's so funny is because the first time I ever watched season 2,
I thought I was watching the wrong fucking shit.
So the first time I was watching season 2,
I went
the first
back
episode.
into
I was like,
season 1.
Did I miss something?
Yeah, I went back into season 1.
Yeah,
because I went straight from the last episode into it, and I was like,
"You're like, wait, what is going on?"
And I went back to the episode. I was like, "No, I did not miss anything." I was like, "I don't know what's going on." And that's when I messaged being like, "Am I supposed to be confused?"
Yeah.
And then I just kept watching, and then eventually
they answered the question.
Because I don't think they answered until like episode 2 or 3. Like it takes a bit.
I think by the end of season I think by the end of the first episode, you see like
you get like bits.
Yeah,
you're getting like
but
bits.
Then by the
like
end
fully,
of episode 2 or 3, you're right. Like that's when you're fully
clued in. Yeah.
Oh, real quick, I did mean to ask you.
Yeah.
When you mentioned Lelouch's nightmare, did you mean the one with the fucking cannons on the shoulder or the one with the shields?
I think the ones with the cannons on the shoulder.
Okay, when he first gets it and steals it from the
from the island.
Yeah, okay. That's all because they're both black and like
I know it's confusing.
Also, love whatever her name is that calls the sociopath the Earl of Pudding.
Did they
love
date?
her? We don't know.
Rakshata?
Yeah, we have no idea.
So
I didn't know if I missed that.
It's never explicitly said if
all
they
it says
dated.
is
his assistant. I mean, I don't think she's an assistant, but the one who's always with him.
Cecile?
Sure.
Yeah, what's her face asks her like, "What's up with what's their deal, Nonali?" Nina.
And then she says like,
it's a small thing.
Yeah.
It just was led to more.
So then I thought I missed something, and then I was like, "Meh."
They just never. That's all the answer you really get.
I thought I missed something.
But I also love there's like the fucking like Z plot of this show, which is just them constantly upgrading each
trying
other's
to one up each
because
other.
They keep stealing their other tech, and every time they get like they steal one back, they're like, "All right, let's upgrade some shit," and then they take it back, and then like they fucked with my design. I'll make it better, and like. It's just like it's just such a small plot in so far in the background, but they just keep making better and better shit.
They're just having like a mech pissing contest in the corner.
Yeah.
You know what Z plot I liked? The random fucking chase scenes that the school always had because of the president.
The president just putting on the most extravagant shit, also trying to make the world's largest pizza.
Yes.
The
also Pizza Hut actually being a.
Yeah, what was up with that? Like. But yeah, the president just always having like chase scenes just randomly.
Always get Lelouch.
Yeah.
Millie, she's always doing the most.
Yeah. And like, but like, I don't know. That's like the nice break.
Yeah.
In like all of this heavy shit.
I feel like in each season you get like 2 nice like at school filler plots.
Yeah.
What was the cat's name? Suzaku?
Arthur?
Yeah.
Yeah. The one that always bites Suzaku.
When it's at the grave?
Yeah.
Bro.
Yeah.
Bro.
He also saves Suzaku's life.
Yeah.
Arthur also saves him. And still bites him regardless, though.
Of course, you gotta.
But yeah, I love that little plot with him and the cat.
Yeah.
Let's see, what else? Most of the student council are really fun. Except, God, Millie is just so mean to, what's-his-face? Rivel just.
Rivel just is like taking constant L's. Like, oh my god.
Not the Heartbreak Award. When they're like going through the album and it's the Heartbreak Award that she shattered his heart and then gave him the award for it.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah, it's like it was like one of her contests. And it was like, oh my god.
Brutal.
Really, you are an awful person. Like
brutal.
What
are your thoughts on Shinkei and like the Empress and like the Chinese Federation?
She's a child, right?
She sure is.
Okay.
I don't think I don't like. I mean, I think he loves her, but not in like a romantic way.
But she sure does want to marry him.
I mean, well, yeah, but because that's all empresses did or do, especially in this context. She was gonna get married off to a dude that was like triple her age.
Yeah, she was gonna get married to the first prince.
Yeah, so
That's
I mean,
true. I guess
to her that doesn't really matter.
I guess. But I just wasn't sure if she was just small or if she just
I'm
was.
sure she's a child.
She's definitely
if she was just
a child.
actually a child.
Yeah.
I was
Definitely
like,
a child.
I'll wait to ask, I guess.
Although she was chill when they fucking.
I mean, she was a good person.
Yeah, like when they are like, we're gonna kill this fucking guy for feeding a prisoner, and she's like, no, he did a good thing.
Yeah.
Like he shouldn't be punished, and they're like, that's not the same. And she's like, I don't care.
Yeah.
He shouldn't be punished for doing good.
Yeah.
And then he's like, all right, I'll just devote my life to her.
Yeah, you saved my life. I will protect you forever.
Also, he had a pretty cool mech.
Yeah, I liked his mech too.
Fuck the eunuchs, though.
Yeah.
Fuck those guys.
They were so annoying.
Yeah, they sure were.
That was a plot I didn't like. That was so annoying to listen to.
Yeah. And so how did you guys feel like about Lelouch, like in it, just like how like he went about his tactics and like how he reacted to like trying to outsmart people versus like all of his plans? Did you feel like, I mean, regardless if you agreed with them or not, did you feel like they were all like well thought out, like that they all made sense, or were you just feeling like some stuff was being pulled out of its ass?
No, I think it's well thought out. I don't think he would. I mean, I feel like there was very few things that he had to be like on the fly, being like, if he had a plan but something else happened and then he was like, all right, well, I had this plan, but you know, now I need to pivot and like now I need to do this instead. But I think
like after season 1 he realizes like unless he is planning like 17,000 steps ahead, like he will not achieve his goals.
Finally outsmarting his brother
Schneisel
is like one of the most satisfying things.
It really is.
When he pulls that pre-recorded message with all the answers again, and he just taps him on the shoulder and he's like,
hey
sup?
bitch.
Like, because he does that twice?
He does that with Mao in season 1.
Mao was so scary when he pulls out the fucking like chainsaw.
Oh, and he's like, I'll just chop you up.
Yeah, he's like, I forget what he says, but he to like that he's gonna chop her up to take
we'll
her.
go to. I have plot in China, but like obviously I can't take you on a plane, so and you're too big to fit in the suitcase, so I'll just have to chop you up to put you in the suitcase.
Yeah,
so scary. I was like, what the fuck is happening? Like, just so scary, because that's obviously before you find out about her Geass and like why he's so obsessed with her.
Yeah.
Well, at that point, her Geass would no longer be in effect.
He's just
no. He just loves her because.
Oh, so okay. So
she was she was the only voice he couldn't hear. So,
and
because she found him when she was a child.
She gave him his Geass, which is mind reading, but he can't turn it off. It's not like Lelouch's where it's like on or off. Like he can choose when to use it, except I guess like end game stages where it's not.
Couldn't he do that? So from the start, he
from the start he couldn't control
okay.
it.
Yeah,
I thought
it's the same. It's the same with C2. She couldn't turn hers on or off either.
Oh, okay. I was thinking that.
But no, once she became the priestess C2 or whatever,
that's when she didn't have it anymore.
She doesn't have her power.
Oh, okay.
She's just immortal.
She's immortal, but she can give other people Geass. And so he's like obsessed with her because she was essentially like.
But does she not know what she's giving people? She just gives
no, it's random for everybody.
Yeah, it's random.
Well, or it's based on like their true desire. Because when she mentions what she got, she mentions that was what she really wanted.
Yeah.
But it's never mentioned for anybody else. So
I
don't know if that's supposed to be inferred.
I could understand the desire thing because like Lelouch having mind control powers does make sense.
People that do
and
what
I
he
guess
says,
like Mao having mind reading, I don't know how much sense that makes for him because
he was
his
a
backstory only
5-year-old boy,
goes
so.
to like when he meets C2. So
Yeah.
So it might be, but
Yeah.
like for the most part, I mean, it's either random or it is based on some kind of belief. Or if you don't have a belief, maybe it's random. Who
Yeah.
knows?
Like, I feel like Rolo's is, like, kind of random. He just stops time.
Yeah. I don't know. Scary. Anyways, what'd you ask before? Now? What are you talking about?
Oh, just if you thought like Lelouch's plans all like made sense. Now, like going back to like you feeling like Suzaku got like screwed over and whatnot, and like us trying to explain like it makes sense, like that. Like it's such a culmination of I love the moment where Nonali has the fucking trigger
The flame.
for the flares, and she's like, I'll make everybody hate this, and he goes, we had the same idea, and I can't let you be the one that does it.
Yeah.
And so he does the thing and like, you're gonna give it to me.
Yeah.
Because he's like, I have to be the one that the world hates.
Wait, why? When she touched him, did she see everything?
C2?
No,
not
Nonali.
only.
So, I'm not like 100% sure about this, but I know once you get to like a certain stage of like having Geass, and I think they already did like the whole Ragnarok connection bullshit.
Yeah.
Like up in the space elevator.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, no, she literally finds it out as he's dying.
Yeah, she touches him, and then that's
When he got stabbed and is
Right,
lying
but
next to her.
I'm saying so
She
it-
says like you. because
Like
that's-
she's like, I understand.
Well, that's why then she starts screaming and crying because
Right.
she realizes that he's not evil.
But I'm saying like when you get to a certain stage of Geass, you one become immortal, and two you do have like some level of psychic link when people touch you. So like C2 when she's like trying to fuck with Suzaku's mind
remember
in the
that.
beginning of the season, and then he's seeing like flashbacks of like
dad.
killing his
Yeah, so
dad
it's the
and
same
like
kind
all
of
that. But then Lelouch like goes and like accidentally touches her at the same time, and then we see like her traumatizing like backstory, and she's like flipping out. So I assume it's because at that point like that's when Lelouch is already at like that full priest, if you will, stage of Geass.
But then at the same time, he's not immortal.
Okay, so for a hot second,
Oh,
spoilers for the movie. Hot second.
He is.
He when the movie cuts to like when C2's on riding that like haystack and she's
Yeah.
like, right, Lelouch. The movie then like pans out and Lelouch.
and
is
he's there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that is what is canonically true.
Okay, well now I'm even more mad that Suzaku is.
The movie has a lot of stuff that happens. Should I mention the other thing?
Sure. Yeah.
Good news. Shirley lives. They just don't shoot her in the movie universe. Like they just are like, nah, she's fine.
Yeah, the movie,
changed her
the
mind.
movie they do have like some retcons.
Yeah, they retcon some stuff, and she's one of the retcons.
Yeah.
Bring back Yuffie.
Yeah, that
I
one's
feel like that's
too intrinsic.
That's too hard to come back.
Too intrinsically
it.
necessary.
Yeah.
Bring in
Because
someone
if
with
you
the
think
Geass
about it,
that
like-
can bring
like
people from the
Yuffie-
dead.
You have to realize Yuffie's death and like Suzaku, the you know,
Yuffie's
Bring her
death
back. I don't care.
is the
Fix
canon
it.
being.
Fix it.
it's a
So-
canon event.
yeah,
it has
so-
to
Fix
happen.
it.
So I have the other question, which is, how do you feel about Marion and Charles's plan? Where all you find out Marion's also fucking insane.
I was pretty confused. Like it's so little of like the plot. Like it was here in a flash. Like I was kind of confused by it. Like
You were agreeing with Lelouch, or just like that you were just confused by everybody's opinion and the situation in general?
just the situation in general. Like so V2, right? That was the name.
Yes.
Out of jealousy kills her.
Yes. Because he thinks that she is going to ruin the plans because Charles is like happier.
But the three of them all had the plan together?
4 of them.
Who was the fourth?
C2.
Oh, okay.
So Charles and V2 had the plan.
Yes.
Then Marion and C2 get brought in later.
Okay.
And then all 4 of them have the plan to get rid of lies by removing everybody's mask and making everybody just what they are. but then they can no longer lie. So like, it's what they are, but also you can't really improve or do anything differently because you're just like you are forced to be that and nothing else.
Yeah, I'm still like even you explain like I'm
okay.
still
So
confused.
Marion and Charles's plan is nobody is to get rid of everyone's mask. So I mean, even in the real world, everybody has a mask. Everyone puts on faces for their friends or their family. Everyone's a different person.
Yeah.
Their plan is none of that. You are just what you are. We are destroying the creative the collective unconscious or collective consciousness, whatever. And you can only ever be what you actually are.
Yeah.
That's their plan. To do that, they have to kill God, which is the collective unconscious.
Mm-hmm.
So that's their plan. They then tell that, well, V2 gets jealous of Marion because just Charles is being happier and he thinks he might not want to go through with the plan anymore because he is in love. So V2 is like, cool, solve that problem, kill her.
And V2 did not know that Marion was in Anya, right?
No.
Okay.
Nobody knows that, I think, except for, I guess, Charles at some point.
C2 knows it.
And C2, well, C2, yeah, because she could start talking to C2.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I guess Charles at some point, because when she shows up, he's like, "Oh, hey, there you are."
Yeah.
So
okay. I guess
at some point, I guess they find out.
I think
didn't
if you
realize that
have
he knew
entry
before
to
that
the
point.
Ragnarok connection in that like space elevator situation, you know that Marion is in.
No, because V2 would know.
But isn't V2 like he's not? He's never like posting up there.
No,
if
he's
that
in
makes
there with
sense.
Charles. He's in there with the king.
I guess that's true.
Anyway,
He
doesn't know. Doesn't matter. So anyway, the person that's always talking to C2, like when she's just alone talking to the fucking ether, is always Marion. And so anyway, their plan is get rid of the thing. Nobody can lie. Everyone has to tell the truth, etc., etc., etc. Lelouch, Suzaku, and then basically C2 come to the conclusion that would keep everybody from changing. Nothing could change. Sometimes lies are good, and people need to be able to act differently. And so they're like, you are removing free will. And they're like, yeah, but you'll get to see all the dead. And like, Suzaku, you can be reunited with Yuffie. And he's like, but that's not because of my choice. That's because you're forcing that upon me. Mm-hmm. Et cetera, et cetera. So their whole point is that will keep the status quo. Nothing will change. Fuck you. We're not doing that idea. And then Lelouch gets the power up with the 2 eyes and tells the creative unconscious to fucking let time keep going. And then they start disappearing for some reason. I actually don't know why. They just do.
See, like, all this is very confusing.
And Marion turns out to be pretty not cool of a person, which is kind of a bummer, I guess, since, Lelouch was doing this all for that.
Yeah.
And then
Jeremiah doesn't even know.
Yeah, Jeremiah doesn't know. And then there's the second thing where, like, Schneisel is like, all right, cool. We're just going to nuke the shit out of everybody. I will become a god that everybody fears, and that'll solve all the problems. And Cordelia's like, you're fucking insane.
Yeah.
No. Shoots her. And then Lelouch have that whole battle where he's like, our dad was about the past. You're trying to keep the present. Fuck all that. There needs to be a future. Mm-hmm. Everyone's going to hate me. I will be the center point for the entire world to hate. So the entire world will come together to hate me. And when I die, everyone can finally start working together towards a better world.
It's the whole, like, the greater the suffering, the greater the peace.
Yeah, and then apparently the sequel show just kind of throws that out of the water, I guess. And then, whatever.
This is a sequel show?
Yeah, it's coming out right now.
Oh.
Have you watched any more of it? We don't have to talk about it.
No, I haven't.
Yeah, I haven't either.
I was just going to wait for it to be done and then watch it all at once.
Yeah, same. The initial startup is like,
JK!
Yeah, JK, Japan's Sector 11 again. And you're like...
Yeah, they're Area 11 again.
I mean, what I was going to say...
I hate that so much.
What I was going to say is I don't believe in what he's saying that... Like, I think what he's saying in theory makes sense, but a lot of the times...
Who?
Lelouch.
Okay.
A lot of the time, people, like, it doesn't work like that because there's too many people like involved that they fuck that over.
Yes, but he is saying that humans will always be humans, but you're taking away their right to do that.
No. I'm not talking about the God thing.
Oh.
I'm talking about his final plan.
But his point is still that the humans will have their own will to do what they will.
That's fine. I agree with him on that. Like,
she
I don't
means
think
that everyone hating him
is
will create this greater peace.
Yes, and that will stay. Everyone will work together. Like,
I don't think that he's doing that thinking it'll be perfect.
But I think it will only last a short while before like things get like fucked up again.
But what he's hoping is that by doing this, it opens up enough channels for people to start doing the right thing that when people start doing the wrong thing, there is enough progress that had been made. Like, there's enough countries and whatnot that have all come together for the betterment of the world to not have another Lelouch, it'll set up better than it would have prior.
Isn't it? So basically, because he's already the Emperor of Britannia and they already have control of 1/3 of the world, right? So he's already that level of like power and influence, if you will. And then he gets the Damocles, which houses the Flayers, right? So he's like on full display, like, I control 1/3 of the world and I have nukes, so
and I can blow up the rest of that world.
Like, y'all better bow down, okay? And then, if I'm not mistaken, isn't it after the whole death and blah blah blah, like, and then they start like working together bullshit? Doesn't Britannia like allow the like other countries that they just colonized to like be themselves again?
Well, Lelouch starts that.
Or do they stay?
So did they disband?
No, Lelouch starts doing that as the king, the dictator. He starts like.
But what kind of dictator would do that?
Because his whole point is that he wants Britannia to hate him because he's ripping Britannia apart, and then but he's like also attacking the people. So he's like ripping Britannia apart by also attacking the places they control. And then it's stuff like this. So his whole point is basically he's trying to set up the United Nations. So that way, when he dies and everyone can be like, we can finally make sure not another Lelouch happens, the United Nations will become a good enough and solid enough foundation for the world that it can do more good than bad before the bad starts happening again. Mm-hmm. So like I don't think he's like full on like this'll solve the problem. I think he's just like it'll give enough time for people to realize that they can't have another Lelouch.
Mm-hmm. For him, it's a catalyst for effective change.
Yes.
Not so much like post will be this idealistic world, but this will at least start the ball rolling in the right direction.
Because at least his leads to change, whereas Schneisel's led to nothing. It was just fear.
Yeah.
And the status quo, and his dad's led to the past and no positive change either.
Yeah.
It only really benefited him because he was the king.
Yeah.
So his is like, my plan isn't the best, but it will be the only thing that lets humans make their own choices.
Yeah.
So.
Got it.
And I don't even remember what the fuck the plot is for the movie, if I'm honest.
Me neither. I haven't watched it in so long.
Yeah. But yeah, you should watch the movie.
Surely.
She'll be there. Yeah. Do we have other plot points? I'm fine with going longer because, again, this is a long show. I don't know if anyone has other things they want to talk about specifically.
Trying to think.
I am also trying to think. There's literally so much, and yet my brain is completely empty.
There is so. I can look at my messages I sent you because I use that as my own note taking.
Your springboard.
Yeah, I was like, I used that. I was like, this will just be my note taking in a way. Let's see what we got here. Oh, right. Hold on. Super important. Random dog Zero.
Oh my god, that was so funny.
They're just like. When everyone's like, we're all Zero, exile us all. And there's a quick second where somebody in that crowd put a helmet on their dog because they were like, we can't get banished without, like, it's not like they wouldn't let you take your dog. Yeah. It's like, no, my dog is also Zero.
Protect the identity.
My dog isn't Zero.
It could be the dog.
Yeah.
Fucking love that. It's so stupid.
That whole reveal where they're like, we're all Zero. I laugh every time. I'm like, this is absolutely wild.
Yeah, I also just like how enjoyable
And where do they
Suzaku.
go? They like hop on like a boat iceberg.
Yeah, that is like a forever non-melting iceberg.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay, go for it.
Yeah. Also, I love Suzaku and Yuffie's like entire dynamic, and the fact she was gonna throw away her entire like claim to the throne to just be with him.
Yeah.
And live in the seclusion zone or whatever.
Yeah.
Best boy and best girl.
I don't know if he's the best boy.
He's my best boy.
I also don't know if he's the best boy.
He
My
does
best
some choice things.
I feel
Like most of them don't do some choice thing.
I was gonna say.
But I'm not saying Lelouch's best
like
boy
what
either.
other boys are not doing choice
Like,
things?
they're all
I guess
doing
Ogi
choice
would be
things.
the
I was
best
like,
boy.
Ogi's doing the best out of any
Ogie's
of them.
not my best boy.
Well, that's your problem.
Okay.
So
what Rivel's my best boy, like
oh no, it's the news reporter.
the news reporter.
The dude has a fucking stupid name.
I don't even remember the news
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
Detard.
Yes, Detard.
reporter. Can you pull up a who?
Detard, the one that he's like,
He-
I
he
will make
was-
sure everyone knows Zero is like.
He originally was working for like Britannia News, and he was very like closely affiliated with the military.
Yes.
And then he was like so enamored by
Yes,
Zero and his
yes.
like grandiosity, if you will.
Yeah. I was trying to think of like actual like news report and
No,
thinking of
no,
like
no,
someone on
not-
screen, like
not
how
on the
how
news.
Millie is like
Yeah, yeah.
on screen. Like I was trying to think of that. I'm like, did I just
Blank that
yeah?
out of my
I'm like,
mind.
who is this?
Yeah, no,
Like,
Detard,
yes.
he has like his whole thing, and he's just
Yeah.
kind of an asshole.
Yeah.
Also Clovis was trying, like, I love that, like, after Lelouch kills Clovis, and he's like, net positive. We out here winning. Killed my own brother. Plus. And then, like, every other time Clovis ever gets mentioned by anyone else, they're like, you find out more and more that like he was just trying his best to do what was best for everybody
Yeah.
with very limited resources and knowledge.
Yep.
That it's like he was not really doing much in terms of positive change, but he was doing his best to make sure nobody was just out there killing 11s at all times.
He just didn't need to die at all.
No, not really. He was
Nope.
generally kind of like an okay person,
Yep.
just kind of inept.
Definitely.
He was
coulda
just
lived.
like he was sent there to be really just a figurehead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know. And he
But he
wanted
was helping.
Yeah, he wanted to
Kind
like
of, in his
affect
own way.
positive change,
Yeah.
but he just didn't have the like means to do that.
Yeah.
And then the like tragedy too of it is like the dude that worked with Clovis, where he's like, you worked so hard to get that girl to your father to like win favor when he knew about her the entire time. So it's like, and it's like you don't find that out till like season 2, like episode fucking 13, and you're like, wow, he's been dead for so long, and yet now it's like shitting on his grave.
Yeah.
It's like it was all for literally nothing.
Yeah.
If you brought her to him, wouldn't have mattered.
Wouldn't have mattered one bit.
And really everything is Clovis's fault because he leads to his fucking Lelouch finding C2,
It's true.
which just spirals into everything that happens.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was trying his best. Nothing would have changed with him,
No.
but he didn't really deserve to just get outright executed.
Nope.
Point blank.
Yeah.
It was probably easier on him that way.
Honestly, yeah. Cause that's like Lelouch's first like on the ground battle,
Yeah.
and he fucking wipes him out so easy.
Yeah.
Like if Clovis was ever in a situation like you put him in like a Cornelia battlefield, done for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Like-
really, for the most part, Lelouch is winning every battle except for the fact that Suzaku keeps showing up. And then Cornelia shows up, he loses that first one, but would have won the second one.
Yeah.
It's just Suzaku who constantly comes in as like the Deus Ex Machina to his plans.
Yeah.
The White Knight versus, which also, by the way, I learned a really interesting thing. The chess match that in like the very beginning of the show that Lelouch is going against that nobleman, and Rivel's like, this is unwinnable, and he's like, 6 minutes, I'll win this. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So apparently, that entire chess match is set up to as extreme foreshadowing for literally the entire show,
Yeah.
because in the very next episode, because the White Knight is what wins or what puts up the opposition and what wins the match. And or something like that.
No,
and
he leads with the king.
Yes, but he's going with the Black King.
So
the
that he can play his knight.
Yeah. And the White Knight in that, literally the next episode is called White Knight Rises because it's when Suzaku finally gets into Lancelot and is the opponent to Lelouch in an equal match. Because normally the way why it seems unwinnable is because the White Knight would win, but Lelouch plays it in a way that the White Knight would not be able to get there. Just because the nobleman's an idiot. But the White Knight has a way to win. He just doesn't know how to use it right.
I mean, I thought that the chess was foreshadowing. Not like the entire show. I just thought it was foreshadowing because it's showing like he's so good at chess because he's so good at just being steps ahead because
it's also one of those moments later in the show where like again they show how smart he is when Rollo's trying to do the calculations for the shield and he's like, how the fuck is this guy doing this?
Yeah.
And the other thing where they nullify the Flea and they're like, it's 19 seconds at 0.004 seconds, and Lucia's just fucking typing all that shit. I was like, got it.
That always makes me laugh. Him like going hard.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of great moments, and I think for the most part, the like added characters in season 2 are great, minus like the vampire and the Knight of One. I think they're kind of boring. If I'm honest.
Same. I feel like the Knight of One, like I feel like I would expect him to have a better Geass. Like, he gets taken down way too easily, in my opinion.
He sees the future.
Yeah,
that's pretty good for literally everything except for Suzaku.
I was going to say, but it's not even helpful.
But only to him.
I guess.
Because Suzaku has the thing that lets him get the boost, so he's just going so fast it doesn't matter.
He's going ham.
Which, again, goes to the fact that also Colin would have beat him, so I guess she's better than Knight of One.
I guess so.
Yeah.
So, best girl.
Yuffie best girl.
Yuffie best girl.
She couldn't even fucking kill everyone correctly.
She was doing a pretty good job, though.
She was doing a pretty good
She was mowing them down, all right?
Just her in the field of bodies in the dress.
I'm just fucking haunted, bro.
That traumatized.
Literally. I was just like, they can't do this. I was like, they'll fix it. They'll fix it somehow.
Take it back.
Yeah.
Take it back.
I also love how Earl of Pudding, like, just literally outwardly admits he's a sociopath. So he's like, I don't have to deal with the consequences of my actions because I'm insane.
Yeah.
When, like, Nina's like, I didn't realize what this weapon would do.
Yeah.
And he's like, and she's like, how do you live with it? And he's like, well, I'm a sociopath, so it's easy.
He's like, oh, I don't even need to consider that.
Yeah. And it's like, and everyone's like, when Millie is like, do you think he loves me? And they're like, oh, he has no interest in the opposite sex.
Yeah, absolutely not.
He doesn't give a fuck. Like, yet funny enough, it seems like he weirdly feels sad when she's like, I'm not marrying you.
Yeah.
When she calls it off. Like he there's like a minute where like it looks like they actually like outwardly put it where he is slightly bummed about it.
But I don't think he's bummed.
I don't think it's like a love thing. I think more it's just like he liked her. Like he liked what her presence did.
Yeah. I was going to say, he liked having her around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he liked her as like a person.
Yeah.
But nothing about, because like they didn't really have a relationship.
Yeah.
So I don't think it was like anything about that.
Yeah, no, I think he just liked her being around, which I did like that they like threw that in there. Yeah. Any other things? There's so much to the show I feel like we're definitely skipping over.
I mean,
we sure are.
Yeah, it's hard
fine.
to...
Everything is fine.
Yeah.
We already said at the beginning we were definitely not going to be able to cover everything.
Yeah.
It's hard to...
Should we just go into our
final
thoughts?
Sure. Oh, wait, real quick. What do you guys think of Colin's mother?
Oh, like
that whole little
just
arc.
About her, or like
yeah,
finding
that whole
out
little
who
arc.
she is.
Yeah,
or?
like
finding out that little mini arc.
Yeah, finding out the refrain, like all that.
I mean, I obviously felt bad for her. I like that Colin like figured it out that she'll do anything for her and that she stuck around just for her,
like to be near her. Yeah,
and that she just figured that out when she's talking to the mech, like the nightmare. And then, like it dawns on Colin and she figures that out. Like, that's a nice touch that they actually do that because they didn't have to. Like, they absolutely could have just like
left it.
Yeah, been like, I hate my mom.
Yeah, and like, so I thought that was.
I think that's
nice
like the positive of this show. They really make you like, even like Colin's mom, who's in the grand scheme of the story like completely unimportant.
Yeah.
But I think they do a very good job about like making you care about the characters and like.
And they don't even take like much time.
Yeah,
to do
and
it.
how they're very effective in terms of like introducing somebody and then making you care about them, because not only is like you're saying, like her story is sad, but because of how it affects Colin, you know, they do a good job at the like those interpersonal relationships and making you really care and understand why it's so like important.
Yeah, like even at the end when she's like late and grabbing the toast and she just like passes her mom and her mom's like in bed and I think she's like reading or something. Like, it's like, oh, like that's just like a nice touch that it like has the payoff.
They finished the show with the real anime girl running.
Yeah.
They're like, now it could be a regular world where the rom-com can happen.
Yeah.
It's just a shame Shirley didn't live to meet the rom-com era.
Yeah. She just missed out.
Yeah. Just shouldn't have said anything. She could have lived. But yeah, no, I really do love like that little arc and like that it has its like final point, and I think it's like a great just little like, yeah, there's other plot beats and stories happening in this whole world that like
it makes it very lived in the world.
Also love the ninja maid.
Oh, Sayako?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's great.
Ninja maid, rad. Well, every time she's Lelouch, she schedules like 100 and something like
literally.
dates for him.
Oh my god, that was so funny.
I was kissing her in the library. Like, why would you do that?
And she's like, well, I needed to.
I thought it was appropriate. She was gonna find out.
Yeah, she was like, I needed to maintain your social relationships. He's like, that's not what you were supposed to do. That's not what I meant.
Yeah.
And anytime he like says something, like, and he's like, I wouldn't say that. Stop making me seem weird.
Yeah.
Or when she's running away from everybody and doing like the fucking triple flips and then like,
yeah,
like
they're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, we just escaped.
Like, Lelouch shouldn't be that agile.
Yeah.
I also love the running bit that he's always the least athletic.
Yes.
Everyone always passes him.
But I was gonna say, I think it's her. I don't think it's him. But when they're running and I don't know if it's a swim club, but it's a bunch of girls and they're like wearing.
Oh, they're in like the beauty club or something.
Yeah, and like they're like, well, he's a hot-blooded man, so like he's gonna have to stop. And then I don't remember if it was her.
It was her.
Yeah, she blows right past
over them.
She's like, not gonna work.
Yeah, that's not gonna work on me.
Like, aw.
Yeah, they're like, damn, really?
Yeah. So funny.
Which is
I
true.
also love the beef between Sayako and Jeremiah when he's like post resurrection, if you will, with his reverse Geass.
Yeah.
And they're just trying to like one up each other in fights.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. She's great. She has some great moments. And she's just her weird personality where she just, again, puts Lelouch on like 100-something dates. She's like, accounting for food and 3 hours of sleep, you can get 100-and-something dates in today, and then you're going to get another 100-something the next day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, well, we can go into final thoughts. I
got you.
All right. I'm gonna ask you, what do you think I rated it?
Really depends.
A 7.
All right. What do you think?
I'll also go with a 7.
That
both
seems
seasons?
fair. That seems fair.
Both seasons? Yeah, I'll go with a
to rate
7.
them.
Unless the characters really affect you, then I'm thinking 6.
I think
If you're really like, no, fuck them for what Yuffie did, 6.
Season 1, I would say a 6, and you mark it down because the first 12, 15 episodes were so dense.
Mm.
And then season 2, a 7, because it was less dense and easier to get through.
Okay. So final thoughts. Should I start with my rating or should I just
whatever floats your boat?
Whatever you're doing.
So again, like the beginning, it was hard to get through. I know you said, oh, if you ever watch it again, like probably won't. I probably won't ever get to a point where I'm just gonna
Where you're like, this seems like a fun time.
yeah, let me just watch 50 episodes of Code Geass.
Yeah.
Or even 25 episodes. Let me just get through that. Like, maybe I'll watch the movie, but
The movie's good.
I definitely wouldn't just
Also got some good nightmare designs in the movie.
don't care.
I
about
know,
that.
but just saying.
I definitely thought that I was going to be more bored. And again, at the beginning, it was rough. Not that I was bored. I think bored is a rough word, but like just that it was so dense that I felt like almost like I was at school.
You're like, this is a lesson.
Yeah, it literally.
This is a whole ass lesson.
Yeah, this is a history lesson. This is a political, like I cannot.
Yeah.
This is hard. And like in school, tuning it out. And that's why I had to message you guys because like I don't think I'm picking anything up. Luckily, I was.
Yeah.
But after that, it was smooth sailing, and watching it wasn't a drag. So once I got past that, like I was glad, and I do think that it has good characters, good development. The like I said earlier, like the mechs are in the forefront, but at the same time, they're not. Like
they're not important to the overall plot and characters.
Yeah.
But they are important in general.
Like, they're there most of the time, but at the same time...
The most important ones are really just the Gurren and
Lancelot. But at the same time, like, because I don't really care about action and stuff, like... I can't even describe a fight to you. Like it's important, but at the same time, like it wasn't too much that it bored me. Like it didn't just solely focus on that because it would pan to them inside and them talking and then or them showing that, or it would pan to them in a control room or like, you know, like because it kept doing other things versus just
like a straight up fight scene.
Yeah. Like, because it didn't just do that, I never found myself bored. Like, that I was just like, okay, when will this be over? Which I liked, obviously, because I thought that that's what this would be. So, good. Like, that made it way easier. Because I was dreading this, especially because this was the long pick. And so, like, I didn't really know what to expect, so it did exceed my expectations. And like, you know, character development is important for me, so my ratings, I gave him the same rating for both because we don't do halves, which was hard to decide on, but I gave it an 8 for both.
Wow.
Yeah.
Which means if we do long picks again, IBO is the choice.
What a surprise. An 8 for both.
Yes. I tried to...
Would you recommend it?
Yes. I would say yeah, but I think it would just depend on if that's what you're looking for. So I would just say it's like a asterisk.
Well, like, I mean, it's not what you were looking for, but you still gave it an 8.
Yeah, but I was forced to. Never would I watch the show if I was not forced to.
Well, then I feel like, well, then would you want people that have your similar opinion to watch it?
No.
So that sounds like a no. You wouldn't recommend it.
No, like
if someone was like, "Hey, should I watch Code Geass?" to you, what would your answer be?
But there's other shows that I gave the same answer and you haven't been like...
Well, no, I mean, that's
true.
But I mean...
You haven't been like, wait, but why would you you've let me have that answer. So
yes,
why is this not okay?
But mostly because I'm always hoping that is your thought process, because that's mine. Like, I always try to appeal to whoever, like, whenever I'm speaking, like, who would agree with my own sentiment.
Uh-huh.
Because you've said no to certain shows where you're like, if you're like me, you won't like this. You've done that in the past.
That's
why I
true.
was asking.
That's also true.
Yeah, that's why I was asking, because you were like, you just said I wouldn't.
But,
so that's why I was curious.
But I would think that that's more of a show that I did not like at all, or it's a yes asterisk, like, or a no asterisk.
For you, is it a no? You would not recommend?
It's too long for that. Like, if it's a shorter watch, then it's like...
You feel like it's too much of a commitment?
Yes. Like, if it was shorter, then it's like, yeah, why not? Like, it's something different, and it has payoff. That like, does that make more sense?
Look, I'm not questioning whether I'm just like, you can answer however you're answering. I was just curious.
I think that helps, at least in my thought process, because say it was a 12 episode show.
Oh my god!
Could you imagine?
But not
each episode is 90 minutes.
Not specifically this, but like if we're talking about a 12 episode show, and it's not my kind of show, but it has like the payoff of character development, so the person has the same taste as me, then I would say, hey, I don't really like action mech like shows, but it does have the payoff of that character development. So yeah, go for it. This is just too much, and I feel like season 2 is better. Like I would have rated it an 8.5. Like if we did have, like I don't think it's a 9, but we don't do have, so like they just both get 8s.
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
But because you can't watch, like you have to watch it all. Like you can't just pick it. And I don't. think
you could be unsatisfied after season 1.
Yeah, you could.
Like I don't. It's not like you. I think you just have to watch it all. Like it just
I would agree.
I would agree.
Yeah.
I don't know why you would do that to yourself.
You
but
can't.
It's certainly an option. Everyone
with
has
it
free
leaving
will.
off like where it does of like them finding out and then you thinking that like that.
Yeah, that's where it ends.
Yeah, it gets shot, stab. What are they? They're like battling, right? At the end of season 1?
They're like aiming at each other.
Yeah, they're just holding guns at each other.
Okay. So yeah, like you wouldn't want to, like you have to watch it all. Like you can't, and that's why you had to do it as your long pick, because you couldn't just pick.
Yeah.
Could you imagine how annoying that would have been?
Yeah, like, and then you'd have to wait for the whole rotation to go for like the next. Like you can't do that. So because it's such like a time sink, like I feel like it's more to the fact that I'd have to be like, yes, asterisk, more if this is your thing, because I do think that it was a good show. So like also a good example is like Ryan doesn't like political dramas. Like he's not into any of that. So like he's tried watching the show like years ago and he couldn't get into it. So like he never
weak.
Yeah. So like
Poor
he
choice.
never watched it. And then so when I was, I don't know, like 7 or 8 episodes in and I tried explaining it, that's when he was like, that's why I couldn't get into it, because it was history, politics, like all of that. And then so yeah, so like like you're just not gonna, because you have to get past that. So it's like that's why I feel like it has to be
Right.
yes, asterisk. So I don't know. Your turn.
I really like the show. I originally gave both seasons an 8.
Mm-hmm.
And
Now he's rating the 6.
yeah. I think like, because when I originally watched this, I think I was early into my like getting back into anime phase, because I think and Sage was like, you need to watch this, and I think I started it at Shore House, I think.
Why would you start it there?
Because we were there and people were doing stuff, and I was like, whatever, I don't know.
Let me watch this political drama.
Yeah.
Like while everyone's
It was either that or
drunk.
Akito that I started. I forget.
So weird.
But yeah, so like I just like going back and now watching this with like much more shows under my belt and like whatever, and like a better eye for stuff. Like everything just works super well. Like basically all the character motivations like make sense and they follow through with everything that like you get, and the ending is just super satisfying. Like it's everything it builds up to, and then like it has a great payoff, and all the characters kind of end up where they should, at least in how everything's set up.
Or Shirley.
It made sense at the time. Not that like it should have happened, but it happened, so like it made sense to push everyone where they ended up anyway.
Yeah.
It's so like everything happened in the show led to like it was a domino effect that made sense to each subsequent thing that happened.
Why couldn't it be Cornelia?
Because her titties are too big.
You would want Cornelia to die over Yuffie?
Yeah.
Guilford would cry.
Guilford would cry.
How dare you?
It's better Guilford over me.
How dare you?
I don't know, bro. I just can't take the grief.
So I gave both of these seasons a 9 now. I still stand by the fact, though, that I think Akito is more interesting. At least, well, I haven't rewatched it, so who knows if that'll stay. But I, at the moment, still think that Akito is
that another mech?
It's a spin-off of this show.
Oh.
It takes place in a different part of the world in a different nation.
I'm pretty sure it's in France.
Yeah. Like, they're like French resistance or something, right? Yeah. And it's great. It's like 5 OVAs.
Okay.
But like, I don't know, everything about this is really good. And then you have the movie, which kind of changes stuff, but like, we're not talking about that, so it's whatever. But
in a good way or bad way?
Depends who you are, I guess.
To you.
From what I remember liking it.
To you.
I also remember liking it.
Yeah, like,
but
it's
again,
been
I
a
haven't
while.
watched it in so long, so I have like
yeah.
very little memory of it.
Okay.
Maybe I'll watch it again and I'll update you on my opinions.
All right.
Yeah. But it is the canonical ending of the show, so.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. They do retcon stuff. Like, it's the canonical, like, how it all ends.
The wrap up, if you will.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But, yeah, I still think it's great. I think the mechs are also super fun. Like, all the fights are really interesting. And I love a lot of the characters. Like, even people you hate, you kind of, like, you still like seeing them because they do lead to so many interesting things from other characters. Kind of like Rolo or, Nina. Like, as much as I fucking hate her and I wish she died in that terrorism bit when she was taken as a hostage. Her being there does lead to a lot of other shit that all
she didn't
just betters everyone else.
Obsessed with Yuffie.
Yeah. Which, love that moment where she's just like, well, if Yuffie likes them, they can't all be that bad, so I guess I have to like them. And you're like, oh my god, girl, you are insane.
Yeah.
When she's like, Yuffie's, she's my friend, Princess Yuffie's like, they're like, have her like arm barred, and then Yuffie's like, she is my friend, and they were like in the house or together or whatever. And she's like, you mean so much to me, and I'm like, oh my god, Yuffie, how are you still putting up with this girl? That's stalker alert. You fucking pale.
Sweetest cinnamon roll.
No, Nino is gonna fucking stab her so no one else can have her.
I agree.
Seriously.
Like, she is so scary. Like, but Yuffie is just the sweetest. Like, I can't.
And she won. She beat Lelouch. She outplanned him. But yeah, I think everyone, like, everything has its place in the show, and there's not really much fluff or like stuff that where I'd be like, this just didn't need to be there. So I give both seasons a 9, and I would definitely recommend both. Just, it's a big one, so just know that going in.
Yeah. Yeah, I really enjoyed my rewatch. Again, like I said, I think this is probably my 20th rewatch. I enjoyed every single time. I feel like every single hard-hitting moment like hits the same every time. It's like I'm watching it for the first time. Even though
watching the Yuffie scene again, I remember messaging you and being like, "Oh my god, this is terrible."
Oh my god, yeah,
it is heartbreaking.
Yeah, when they want to like gut punch you, they will deliver it very effectively. The visuals, I think, honestly, for 2006, 2008, it really holds up. Like, I've seen shows that same age that look 10 times worse at this point.
Like Nana.
Well, that was a little later, earlier. But anyway.
Same style.
Yeah.
Lanky people, big heads.
Yeah, but...
I think that Nana's more, like, stylistic, but I won't have this
I agree
right now.
But anyway, yeah, I think the animation quality really holds up. Like I said, I love the OST, like the soundtrack, the score, everything. It really adds to either the hype or the emotion or impact for every scene. It's just a really well thought out soundtrack, in my opinion. I would definitely recommend it. I would rate both seasons a 9 out of 10. Although I am teetering giving season 2 a 10 just because that ending is so effective.
It really is.
That I'm like, it's just such a perfect bow, like cherry on top, But no, I would say both seasons a 9, and I would highly recommend it. Even though, yes, it is long, it is dense, but I think it's worth it.
I really did try and take my personal opinions out when I was giving it a rating because I think if I did let my personal, it would have been like a 7.
Yeah.
So I did try and take.
You were trying to be objective.
Yeah, because both of you were like, like the perfect ending, but I just feel so bad for Suzaku, like that. I'm just like,
dude, he was gonna if Lush didn't hit him with the live, he was gonna kill himself 30 different times.
Ever since Yuffie died, like he doesn't want to be living. Like his life.
He's ready to send it.
Yes, like so, like I know.
Now Lelouch is just forcing him to live out his ideal of you want to make the world better from the inside. Now you have to.
Like I know, but at the same time, like I just feel it's like Arthur. Like it can't. It all hurts, and I feel like it's a personal attack, and just anyone I like, it
is a personal attack.
Yeah, just get screwed over. But I did try to be objective, and I gave him 8. So,
proud of you.
Yeah.
But yeah. That's
all
Code
right.
Geass.
Well, with that, it is the next pick, which is Cats.
Yep.
So, Kat, what are we watching?
We're finally watching Free.
Yay!
Splash Free.
Splash Free.
We're gonna watch some boys swim.
Yeah, we sure are.
That's the whole
So
plot.
excited.
Boys swim.
It's boys swim. It's about a swim team.
Yeah.
It's about them
That's literally the whole plot.
Well, we're watching 2 seasons. We're watching both. They're 12 episodes each. There is 3 seasons, but we're watching 2, and we're watching 50% off, not Splash Free. That's the song. But
oh Mike, you have to watch the opening and the credits every time.
Yes,
it's very important. No skipping.
Yes, I mean,
is it just because you like the theme, or is it
no,
actually
you
important?
have to watch it because it's important.
What you're talking about of 50% off or the actual show?
Oh, both.
Okay, but for the actual show, they hit so hard.
They really do.
Their soundtrack is so good. Like actually. Like,
okay, but like, are you actually saying there's like
and
a legit
animation
plot
goes hard
reason?
Yes. No.
Okay.
Just
for
not
aesthetic.
Memeing.
Okay.
Like I
all right.
have every single song like on a playlist. Okay. It goes so hard for no fucking reason. It's about a swim club. Like went so hard. But I feel like we probably won't have much to say about 50% off. It's just the abridged version, but it's so funny, so you can also watch that. But it's so good. I think it only goes over season 1, but
it's pretty short, right? 50% off.
I don't remember.
You wanted to have us watch it before we recorded, so
yeah, I feel like
it's long.
I don't
think
short.
it is.
It's pretty
long,
quick.
especially because I think
each episode's only like 5 minutes.
I don't even think it's that long, is it?
Even shorter?
Yeah, I felt like it was like 2 or 3 minutes. I don't know.
Okay.
I could be misremembering. I haven't seen it in years. I think I watched it like 4 years ago. So
anyway,
to say, but
you
it's
have
like a half
5
hour.
weeks to watch 2 seasons of Free and 50% off if you want to.
Watch some boys swim.
Yeah, watch some boys swim.
Friendship. Gay question mark?
Gay exclamation mark. Mike?
Gay.
Outro us.
Period.
Period.
Or comma, I don't know.
Slash free exclamation point.
Yeah, so 5 weeks to watch that. 2 seasons of Free and also 50% off. You don't actually have to really watch 50% off. You don't want to, but like we're going to talk about it for a second.
Club, in case you need the whole name, in case you
Is it
have.
not just Free?
No.
Oh.
So in case you have trouble finding it, you'll probably be able to find it just as Free. But just in case other stuff comes
How many
up,
exclamation points does Free have?
1.
Really, that's it?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Not one of those like 17 exclamation points kind of shows? All right. Anyway, thanks for watching this week's episode of the Vaguely Anime Podcast. Let us know what you thought of our opinions on Code Geass in the comments.
It's long, but it's a long show.
Yeah. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, leave a review, follow. Check out Kat the Moonstar on Twitch. And we will see you guys next week for whatever it is we talk about.
Bye.
Bye.